It's time for the 2018 Tomato Report. We'll look at the timeline, the issues, the results, and we'll have a taste test. So don't go away. While I still had good examples of all of my varieties, I thought I'd better get this done. Tomatoes are winding down. This year was even harder than previous years in keeping track of what I grew. If you recall, I had a number of volunteers that came up early in the season, and they came up from the worm compost that I put over in my driveway garden in with the sweet potatoes. I didn't know what they were, and these could represent seeds from 2017 or 2016 because that's when I installed the worm bins. Some of the varieties are still mysterious because some of the plants were not tagged when I was gone. I had several Kellogg plants that were not tagged, and I also grew Yoder's German Yellow, which is what I think this is, and I think this is Kellogg's. Well, it took 5 days, but I finally got the tomato and pepper varieties that I just couldn't live without seeded into trays. This is Gary Osena, one of my favorite varieties, and I can already, spoiler alert, tell you that. The Aunt Ruby's German Green I grew again, and I've had a fair amount of those. No monster vine like I had last year. I think that's once in a lifetime. I had a monster Aunt Ruby's German Green tomato vine over here that it literally hundreds of big tomatoes, and late in the season too, so it was really amazing. I made a cooking video with my green tomatoes last year, fresh green salsa. You'll have to check that out. Some of these varieties I've repeated now because I love them so much, and also many of them came up in the compost. The new addition this year that I planned was the black truffle. What we have here is black truffle. It obviously has a different shaped leaf. This is the first time I'm growing it. I bought the seeds from Open Circle Seeds at the National Heirloom Expo. This one has a redder trunk, which suggests to me that it might have redder tomatoes. We shall see. Okay, I'm down to 6. And I'll wait a week or two and then see how these develop. But this is the black truffle. A couple of you wrote and said that it's your favorite variety, and those plants have actually done well. Not without mildew. Oh no, nothing has survived that. You see the white powdery surface. You see little bugs, but it could be a combination because this spot right here looks like mildew. Oh, but that leaf is just covered. Okay, we're almost there. At some point, it just becomes all about tomato maintenance, and even though I love every one of my plants, at some point you have to say, I have one day to garden with a bad arm when Eric is here, and we have a lot of other plants that need tending to, so I'm just going to keep taking these leaves that are showing signs of blight or mildew off early and hope that the soluble mycorrhizae that I used last week catches up to the plants and helps them ward off disease.
Ready.
Now can you get it in here?
You hold. We need more glue. No, is that okay?
No.
Okay.
The vines are winding down. Some have been replaced, and I'm hoping that the replacement vines actually produce. We've had more continuous days of hot weather with sun all day in August than we had all of April, May, June, and July. That right there is the biggest problem growing tomatoes here, is the June bloom. Because tomatoes like it hot. Those fungal diseases love the cool, moist air near the oceans. So that's my perpetual issue to deal with. I am not weighing my results this year. It takes too much time. But I would say that I'm going to have at least 50 or 60 pounds of tomatoes. And from a small front yard garden, that's not too shabby. Okay, here's our lineup. This is Aunt Ruby's German Green. This is Yoder's German Yellow. This is Kellogg's. This is a mystery tomato, and I can't wait to try it. This is the other mystery that I am going to look the name up. This is the black truffle, and this is the blueberry cherry, and this is the red cherry that I've been growing year after year that's done so well. And this is the pale indigo rose, and this is another mystery. This is the pinkish greenish variety, and this is Garryosena. All right, I think we need to taste them. The four qualities of a tomato that I care about are meatiness, juiciness, flavor, and texture. So we're going to dive in, and I'm going to judge each one based on those four merits. And I'm absolutely starving. Okay, here is the mystery, multifaceted, a lot of seeds, very juicy mystery tomato. Oh my goodness. That's perfect. That's a perfect tomato in every way. Even though the meaty parts are not that wide, there are a lot of them. Wonderful flavor, not too acidic, very juicy. I would give that like a 9. This I believe to be the Kellogg. Very different. Oh, the fifth quality is the skin. Is the skin tough or is it tender so that you can just enjoy the skin as well? This has got an unusual flavor. It's very meaty, not a lot of openings and seeds. It is moderately juicy. The texture is a little more towards the scale of pasty, but not pasty. It's got more of a fruity flavor rather than a tomatoey flavor. It's very good. I would give this a 5 to 6. All right, the cherry tomato. It's not the best one I've had. Very juicy, a lot of seeds, and the skin is tender. I would give that cherry tomato about a 6. This is the black truffle. Very juicy, very meaty. The skin is a little tough. I don't love that. It's got a darker, smokier flavor, like a purple tomato. Big sections of meat and big sections of seeds. So it's not the perfect bite of tomato like this one is. This one's probably going to be similar. As you can see, there's not a lot of meat. There's a lot of big sections of seeds. It's a gorgeous tomato because you have these coppery greenish stripes, and you can pretty much eat a whole one in your mouth at the same time, but it's a lot of seeds and it's a little bit pasty and the skin is a little bit tough. So I would give that a 5. Here we go. Okay, I've had better Yoder's German Yellows. It's an absolutely gorgeous tomato. A lot of meat, very segregated and dense. It is very juicy. This particular tomato is a little on the pasty side. It has a very, very mild tomato flavor, not acidic. I would give this Yoder's about a 6 or 7. I think this is the Gary Senna, although I had another one the other day that looked better than this. No. 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 That is not a Gary Senna. Yeah, didn't love it. It's about a 3. Okay, let's try this Indigo Rose. Indigo Rose has kind of a purple top and kind of a light colored bottom. That's a really different flavor. It's more juice and seeds and gel sacks than it is meat. I know you can't see it from there, but very juicy, tender. The skin is nice, but the flavor is very different from your basic, what you consider to be the tomato taste. More mild and fruity or something. We're getting there. Blueberry cherry. Now this is a small one. I've had cherry tomatoes that are 3 times this size, but oh, that is so good, and it's over too fast. It has this deep, smoky burst of flavor as soon as you bite into it. Very juicy. That's a great cherry tomato. I highly recommend it, except if you're in a climate like mine, you're going to have a lot of mildew to deal with. That's probably been my most susceptible vine to fungal diseases, and it's barely hanging on by a thread. I've got 2 of them. Okay, I think I've saved the best for last. This has to be the Aunt Ruby's German green, because that's the only green I grew. That is delicious. I've had better. Sometimes they have a little bit of a pinky center in them. This is a little bit more acidic, very juicy. The skin is moderately tender, not tough, but not tender either. As you can see, the whole center is meat. It has kind of a bright, tangy flavor, more on the acidic, tangy side. And I will say that in the middle, this particular tomato is a little pasty, and I don't love that. But it's a great addition to your garden. The only thing missing here is the Amish paste, which I grow every year, and I just cooked all of those on Thursday, I realized, in my ratatouille. So those are all gone, and the vine is gone. Oh, I have the mystery tomato. This is almost all meat and very juicy. I just think that this hybridized somehow with my other varieties, because you can see that it does have the stripes. It's almost like a pink striped tomato with a green center. Okay, the skin is tough. In fact, it self-peels. That might be this particular tomato. That has like an unrecognizable taste. I cannot recommend it. This is my number 1, and I don't know what it is. You know, after having all of these tomatoes, that doesn't taste as good. Because Garryosena is one of my favorite tomatoes, I went and cut another one to give it another try. It's smoky and dark and juicy and meaty. The skin is a little bit on the tough side, and I would give this about a 7. Thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, check out these. Hit that face up there and subscribe, and hit that like button down there, and be sure and hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.